Welcome to the Curiosity Couch podcast. I'm Erin and I'm super excited to have you join me on this journey of exploration and discovery. This podcast is all about diving deep into the questions that spark our imagination and ignite our curiosity. Each week we will challenge our perspectives on different topics and uncover new ideas to educate and inspire all of you nosy Noras out there. I'll be inviting guests from every walk of life and engaging in conversations to inspire us all to see the world from new angles. My goal is for us all to learn something new together. So get yourselves comfy, get yourself a cup of tea and let your curiosity lead the way. I've only been doing it for about 11 months. Somehow I've hit over 50,000 followers. New Year's Eve last year, actually blackmailed everyone in my family to get me to 4,000 followers. I remember I got one viral video and I was like, right, this is it. Basically Alex O, wearing my brand deals. When I finished school, I did an apprenticeship. So I decided I'm just gonna go self-employed and I'm just gonna do it. As soon as I trained in microblading, something just switched in my brain and I was like, this is what I need to do. I decided to try and release on my first premises. What is your relationship really like with Owen? Right, okay. Owen is having loads of things on. I thrive with that. However, I get overwhelmed and overstimulated so easily. Everyone who meets me is convinced that I have ADHD. My health anxiety started when I was young. I feel like there's going to be people that I speak to along the way on this podcast that can hopefully help me with this. Welcome to the Curiosity Couch. I actually can't believe that I'm actually saying that. Like, this has been in the pipeline for what seems a very long time, which probably isn't that long. Probably been about a couple of months. So welcome to the Curiosity Couch. Obviously, I'm Erin. For those who don't know, I am on TikTok. I don't like to say that I'm a TikToker, because I don't really know what you classify TikToker as. I'd say that's like people who dance around. I don't. I literally just do dish-up dinners. Most of my videos are very chaotic and for some reason people have liked them. I've only been doing it for about 11 months and somehow I've hit over 50,000 followers, which is actually crazy to me. I never thought that I'd hit that. I remember it was New Year's Eve last year and I literally blackmailed everyone in my family to download TikTok to get me to 4,000 followers. So the fact that it's not even Christmas time, my goal for this year was to hit 10k. And somehow it's just got there. This was a coffee, but today's our first episode, guys. So basically, today's for Teeth and Errors. We have been here, what time is it?
It's 2.
It's 2 o'clock. We started at 10. Because we thought I need to do a solo episode just to make sure that everything's in order. We know how the mics are working, etc, etc. Film a couple of intros. It's been a process. I don't know how people make things look so easy. If Kate wasn't behind the scenes, this would not be a thing. So I did have a Costa in this in the morning, but now it is a monster because we had to leave and have a chill because I thought my brain was going to pop and I wasn't going to be doing it about 15 minutes ago. So for those who are wondering what the Curiosity Couch is going to be, it's going to be a range of episodes every single week with sometimes just me, sometimes family members, friends, and also very exciting guests who we have a few lined up who you may have seen in social media. Basically just getting their story of how they've got to where they are and the ups and downs that they had to go through to get there. And yeah, just exploring, because I am one of them people, I love to learn, and if I don't know an answer to something, I love finding somebody that does, and I'll always listen to successful people to kind of, I don't know, to learn how to get to where they've got if they inspire me. So yeah, I'm just hoping that we can all learn a little bit of something together. So I guess I'll just start by telling you a little bit about me and about my story and how I've kind of got to where I am now, what do I do for a living, because although TikTok you do see quite a bit of my life and I feel like I do share quite a bit on there, I am very open. However, they are about 10 minutes of my day every day and I don't think a lot of people actually know what I do and what I have done in my past. So basically, when I finished school, I went straight to beauty college and I did an apprenticeship at a salon on the Wirral. Where I trained in absolutely everything to do with beauty, nails, lashes, brows, lash lifts, spray tanning, everything like that. So I was in college one day a week, and then quite soon after my apprenticeship ended, I don't know, I just got a little bit itchy. One thing with me is I always want more. I always want to learn. I always want more, and success is always at the forefront of my mind, I guess. So I decided I'm just gonna go self-employed. I'm gonna take the leap. I'm just gonna do it. Kind of just like the screw it, let's do it attitude. Went self-employed in the garage. My mum and dad was really lucky, renovated me the garage upstairs, and I had a little beauty studio, which was honestly the best thing, and I thank them so much for that. And yeah, I just went self-employed from there. It was going really well. Then we went into lockdown. Now, lockdown was so hard for so many people, obviously, with self-employed life. Luckily, I didn't really have any bills because my mum and dad were supporting me going self-employed, and I wasn't obviously renting a big space or anything like that. So as soon as we came out of lockdown, that's when I trained in semi-permanent makeup. Now, semi-permanent makeup absolutely changed my career for the better. I trained in microblading at first, and as soon as I trained in microblading, something just switched in my brain, and I was like, this is what I need to do. The money is absolutely crazy. In beauty, money's crazy anyway. I feel like so many people underestimate the power of the beauty industry, and a lot of people actually still look down on it, and this is something we'll get into on other episodes, because we are going to do a full episode on my job and things like stigmas and everything like that, so I'll leave that to the later episodes. However, I just thought I'd touch on everybody does underestimate it, and I know when I was in school there was people going to university to do law, to do veterinary, everything like these amazing jobs, and I always felt a little bit embarrassed almost to say I was going to do beauty, because I feel like there is a stigma where people think, oh, she can't be asked to school, she's thick, she's going to do beauty, whatever. But it honestly couldn't be further from the truth. Yes, okay, sometimes I do lack common sense, but it works to my advantage in the long run, do you know what I mean? So, if you think about it, if I just break it down for you, just for people who don't have a clue about beauty, because I think still a lot of parents look down on their kids when they want to do something like beauty. I know I've been to open evenings at schools and things, and you can just see when parents just walk past that stall, they don't want their child to do it. But the average earning for beauty is around £35 per hour, which is insane, do you know what I mean? A lot of jobs don't actually offer that. So I just think do what makes you happy, and don't ever underestimate the power of beauty. So what I was saying about microblading, as soon as I seen the money that this treatment could bring in, I was like, right, I'm going into this, I'm doing it. And quite soon I outgrew the space in the garage, and I just thought I need somewhere more professional, a little bit more room, more clinical, everything like that. So I decided to sign the lease on my first premises. Again, I'm not going to go in too deep because we'll leave that to a later episode, but I signed the lease on my first premises. Shortly after, got the second one, which was next door, knocked through to the upstairs, and that's when EML Training Academy was born. So I also own a training academy called EML Training Academy. That was a lot of words, academy, take a shot every time I say it. And yes, we offer everything from nails, lashes, semi-permanent makeup, lash lift, you name it, we train it. Wow. That's a good little slogan. Wow. You name it, we train it.
I actually love that.
Isn't that good? That's a slogan right there. We do actually need to make a song for the intro of this guy. So if anybody knows how to produce a song, hit us up. Alright? Hit me up. I can rap. We were saying before, imagine if I actually wasn't doing a podcast and everyone thought I was, and I was just coming around here and doing 6 singing videos. That's one skill I would love to be able to do, is just belt out a song.
Yeah, Christina Aguilera.
Imagine just going to a karaoke bar and just being
that's
step out
dream.
the way.
It's honestly my dream.
Oh, I can actually sing Bruno Mars, the new one with Lady Gaga. I can proper sing that. So we were in the old salon, and then me and Kate went to kind of this, it was a seminar type of thing. It was really inspirational. And literally, it was so weird because I'd already been feeling a little bit of in a rut in the other salon, because just some things weren't going right, and it was just too small. I felt like I'd outgrown it, and I hate feeling claustrophobic and feeling stuck. I like to know that I can always keep learning and keep growing. and I just felt like I got to a place in that salon where like I was no longer able to grow. So that night, well actually that afternoon when we had got back from this like seminar thing, my landlord came and said, oh, they've moved out of unit 1, would you be able to give the keys, someone's coming to view the property? And I was like, yeah, that's fine. I was like, would you mind if I had a little look? He was like, oh my god, Erin, like you cannot do this again, because I'd literally only just done all of the work in the other unit. Anyway, I came in and I literally messaged the guys that night and I was like, oh my god, like I have to have that, like I just have to get it. And yeah, we've been in here over a year now. It was a year in June, and honest to god, it's just like the best thing ever. It's great, I love it. Like, it's such hard work. I feel like people really underestimate how much hard work it is. Like, I feel like a lot of the time on social media, especially with businesses, I feel like everyone from the outside always thinks it's amazing, it's great, it's like, which it is majority of the time. Like, I love my job, however there are so many downsides to it, and I feel like it's kind of how influencers look at each other on Instagram thinking, oh my god, I wish my boobs looked like hers, or I wish my nose wasn't that big, I wish this was different, I'm gonna get, I don't know, a facelift, whatever it may be. I feel like you also do that when you're in business a lot. You look at other people's businesses all the time, and I don't think it's normalised enough. And I feel like if everyone started speaking, a lot of us would actually have the same issues, but nobody wants to admit the issues because you want to seem all the time like everything's great, and it's just genuinely not. Like, there are shit days, there are days where it's so hard, and I just feel like, what am I even doing? And I guess that's why I've kind of opened other avenues as well. Like, TikTok doesn't feel like a job to me at all, because I genuinely love doing it. And there's also downsides to TikTok. Like, there are nasty people out there, and that's something that you've got to consider when going into something like TikTok, which is sad to say that, oh, if you want to put your life online, you be expected to be bullied, essentially. I don't think that's right at all. However, even that, I've got quite a thick skin with things like that. Like, it doesn't bother me whatsoever. But I just feel like when I'm in a bad mood, when I've had a bad day, I go home and I do a TikTok and I instantly feel like, I don't know, I feel like there's such a nice community, and I feel like that's why I wanted to go into podcasts. I've always, since starting TikTok, I've always had the idea in the background that I wanted to do a podcast. That's always been the end goal. I've got my dream people. Should I just say who my dream people are for this podcast to get on?
Yeah.
Should I just put it into the universe?
Yeah, because then we can do a flashback when you get them on.
Yeah, because I will. Okay, number 1, Stephen Bartlett. I've emailed him several times, and bear in mind, this is the first episode, and this is why this one's going to be a little bit tricky, because none of you know that this is what we're doing at the moment. So we haven't been able to put on our Instagram or my TikTok, like, send us in dilemmas. We've had to nitpick from like the DMs that I get. But obviously none of you know right now. It's hard getting people on. I've got some really exciting guests, don't you worry. But it's hard to get people on when they don't know what it is. Do you know what I mean? I could be just a weirdo in a garage for all they know that's going to abduct them. So Stephen Bartlett Security's probably got a red flag by my name, but it's okay because he will know who I am soon. I'm sure of it. And the intro to my email is day 1 of trying to get you onto my podcast. Like, that is the subject. Stephen Bartlett will be on this podcast. There's something about that man, right? I am a weirdo, right? And all my friends will back me up on this. When they were all getting ready for parties and getting ready to go on nights out, everything like that, people will listen to music, people will, I don't know, watch Molly May. I watched clips of Dragon's Den, okay? When Fern's doing my nails and I don't stop moving, she puts Dragon's Den on for me, and I have to just sit there and watch Dragon's Den. I love it. I have done since I was a kid. I can't come up with a product that I can get on there with, but I always say to people who have sick businesses and sick products, if you're going on Dragon's Den, I will pitch it for you for free, won't take a cut, just to do it. Like, I don't know what it is, I just want to go on Dragon's Den. My dream. When I seen Stephen Bartlett come on, that I'd watched a couple of episodes of Diary of a CEO, and it was Liam Payne's episode, I think, where he'd just been announced or something. I can't remember. I was so excited. I can't lie and say that I knew exactly who he was, but I knew that he was hella successful. And I just think, for all of the young females and males out there, I just think where he's got to in such a short space of time in his career is actually just phenomenal. The way he speaks on his podcast, the way he articulates himself, everything about him intrigues me. And I can just imagine him in that chair, right there. What aftershave do you think he'd be wearing?
An expensive one we've never heard of.
Probably. Or it could just be sweat that's just intelligent. Do you know what I mean?
Pheromones.
Yeah.
Just pure.
Pure, like, intelligent BO. Yeah, I bet his BO just smells like Sauvage. Sauvage is a bit of shit. He probably wouldn't.
It's given.
Like Penhaligon's or something.
Yeah.
I don't fancy him, I have got a boyfriend, but, I mean, I wouldn't say no.
You can't fancy other people. Like.
Yeah, I can window shop. But, yeah, Stephen Bartlett is going to be the 7th guest on this podcast. So stay tuned for that. Another dream guest on this podcast. And by the way, this isn't to say the guests that I have lined up aren't dream guests, because they bloody well are, but obviously they're already in the pipeline. Paul, what the hell's his second name?
Paul
Bronson. Oh, that man could undress me with his words.
I love him.
How amazing is he? He's so emotionally intelligent, and like the way he speaks and like articulates himself, just an idol is all I can say. Do you know who I'd love to interview? Yeah. Oh my god, it's just come to my head. Alison Hammond. Could you imagine? Wouldn't she?
Or Gemma Collins.
Nah. I love Gemma Collins, but do you know what? I think she'd be an interesting one, because I think she's got loads of layers that she doesn't like to come up with. I feel like she hides behind her confidence a lot. I think there's a lot that you could undig with Gemma Collins. Molly May would be sick.
I'll look after Bambi.
It pisses me off though, people rip into her so much and she's actually just such a legend. She doesn't do anything wrong. As I said, we haven't been able to ask any of you any of your questions, queries, dilemmas, anything like that, and we have got really exciting segments planned for the podcast. But today it's going to be running a little bit different because none of you know, as I keep saying, so we're kind of just running off fumes, to be quite honest. And I'm getting to know, because this just feels really weird. I feel like when I'm interviewing someone, it'll be very different because the conversation naturally flows and bounces, but I'm just chatting one, to be quite honest. So, Kate has actually wrote me out some questions based on, she's good with her research, is Kate. Oh, I keep calling you Kate, sorry. Nora. She's really good with she's really good at researching, is Nora. She's very good. She's good at due diligence. Is that how you say? Due diligence. Due diligence.
Due diligence.
Due diligence. Due diligence.
Give her a due diligence. Doesn't sound like a real phrase now.
She's good at looking things up. So she has stalked my TikTok and my Instagram within an inch of its life. Not really my Instagram, because my Instagram is something that I still need to grow, to be quite honest. I found it very hard. But she has wrote me out, whatever, some questions that you guys have been asking, and I have not seen them yet. So these are new to me as well as they are to you. Okay, so let's go. Okay, question number 1. How did you get into TikTok? Honestly, it's quite funny actually. For years and years and years, literally since I was in school, I always have had a private story on Snapchat. Now, on this private story, I would literally do get ready with me's, cook with me's, everything, and all of my friends would always say, Erin, you need to start a YouTube. This is before TikTok was a thing, and then obviously when TikTok was a thing, everyone would say to me, you need to do TikTok, because I don't know, they thought I'd do good because of what I did on the, I don't know, but people told me to do TikTok anyway. My stories would be like 30 slides long, and the only person that would listen would be Nora, like literally, that would be, I'm just imagining me having kids now and your name's going to be Auntie Nora, and they're going to be like, why Mum? Don't ask. You can listen when you're older.
Yeah, it's not for kids.
It's not for kids, BG. So yeah, but when you're in school, and a lot of my younger following, I think, will feel like this, and I know for a fact when I have clients in or students in, school can be such a vile place growing up, and I couldn't do it now, I don't think. And I think there's so many mean people out there, not even in school, in day-to-day life, and you really do just have to know when to be like that to people. I still have to do it now, and I feel like I can read people so well. I know the people who want me to do well, and I know the people that hate it when I'm doing well, and you just have to learn to navigate that. But the worst piece of advice, well, the best piece of advice that I can give you, and the worst thing that you can do, is let them shallow people stop you from doing something that you wanted to do. And if I had listened to that advice when I was younger, I'd love to know where I'd be now, because I was so scared for so long to talk on my stories or make a TikTok because it was cringy, and the lads in school would have bullied me, and all the girls would have thought I was a gimp and all of this crap. If I hadn't have done that, I probably would be so much further along now. Like, honestly, I look up some of my private stories when I'm younger, and they're hysterical. They really are. And sometimes I think of actually posting them on my TikTok. So even then, I still felt a little bit embarrassed about it. But I think it was last, I don't know, I want to say like August, September, I started doing like, actually, do you want to know when I actually started uploading videos? It was when I went through a breakup. It was my first ever heartbreak, and I was doing everything. It was like the typical thing that you do when you're younger. You just want them to see it, and you want them to be like, what have I done? Why have I let her go? Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone wants that, but I would not react like that now. I would be a lot more mature about it. And if Owen broke up with me tomorrow, tra. Do you know what I mean? However, I wouldn't be heartbroken, but do you know what I mean? I wouldn't be posting TikTok dances, like being like, there was one that I did, and it was like, what was the sound? Can't remember, but it was embarrassing, whatever it was. And I was doing these dances, like not even dances, just like posing. Like, he would not have even probably seen it. Yeah, like yabba yabba yabba.
Yeah.
Like, you'll miss me. Cringe. Genuine cringe. I'd never do that now. Yeah, but everyone's done it, and like the quotes that you put on your story and all shit like that. Honestly, just don't do it. But thank you to my ex for breaking up with me, because it made me start posting. So that's great. So yeah, I started doing Get Ready With Me's, Come With Me's, everything like that. And then I went to Amsterdam with Owen, and I started vlogging the days and things like that, and it started to slowly build up, but it can be so disheartening at the start. Like, I remember I got one viral video and I was like, right, this is it. Basically Alex Earle wearing my brand deals. That's pretty much still how I feel today, but it's just not that successful. And you'd have one video where it'd get like, I remember I got like 10k views. I was like, insane. The next one will get 58 views, and it was so annoying because the videos that I'd put all this effort into just weren't getting the exposure that I wanted. And you just feel like giving up so many times, but just all I can say is just do not give up. Just keep posting. I was posting 3-4 times a day genuinely at the beginning, and it really does work, honestly. Like, you've got to be on the For You page constantly, hashtagging, everything like that. Just make sure that you're posting, and don't let, if there's a video that you think is cringy, post it, because I can guarantee it'll do well. Any press is good press at the end of the day. Anyway, moving on. By the way, guys, you will get to know that I blab a hell of a lot, and I don't get to do that on TikTok because I only have 10 minutes on a video. So this is going to be a perfect way for me to just chat shit. So if you don't like it, press the little X in the corner. Okay, so how are you so confident and carefree? Now, this is actually a really funny question, because yes, I am confident, but in so many aspects of my life, I'm really not confident. Like, put me in my work environment, so confident. Even on TikTok now, confident. But in certain scenarios, I am such an introvert. Like, going to the shop on my own terrifies me. And I don't know why. I'm not actually that bad with that anymore. I will do it. I think it's more that I'm just lazy, to be quite honest. Like, I'd just rather have someone to talk to while I'm doing it, so it's not boring, if that makes sense. I'm definitely not carefree. I feel like there are so many people who can post absolutely whatever they want, and when I'm posting, I'm thinking about every single word that I'm saying, and I overthink it to the point where it's like I'm not even going to post it, and then people around me have to be like, Erin, there is nothing wrong with that. I'm so scared of offending people, and I don't know, I feel like the internet can be such a scary place sometimes, because you are putting it out there for people to see and listen to, and if there is something that you haven't thought about and you put out and people take the wrong way, that's like my worst fear, if that makes sense. So I'm definitely confident in some aspects, but I am working on it, being able to like vlog in public, and I actually have got a really exciting guest coming on who's hopefully going to help me with my rejection therapy. Take with that what you will. But yeah, so that's how I'd answer that question. I'm not confident in all aspects, and I'm not that carefree. Okay, what is your relationship really like with Owen? Right, okay. I can understand where this question's come from, because Owen is the most laid back person I have ever met in my life. He's practically horizontal, he's that laid back. Now, people see that sometimes as me being like overpowering or bullying him. Like, I've got all sorts of comments. It's the most stupid shit ever. Like, oh my God, share your chocolate with him. Oh, the poor boy needs to eat. I might like to just remind people, Owen is 26 years of age. He is more than capable of feeding himself, you know, whatever. Like, he can do whatever he wants. I do not control his life. This is all over steak and spinach, by the way. Like, this is what people were fuming about. Owen is the most laid-back person that you will ever meet in your life. I have been in one serious relationship before Owen. Long-term relationship. I think we were together like 3.5 years, nearly 4 years. So when I was in this long-term relationship, I feel like I was very young, so was he. Like, we were different people to what I'm sure he is now and what I definitely am now. And I feel like I relied solely on him for my happiness. Like, I'd like to say I was independent, but I really wasn't. Like, and I feel like that could have been a reason why we didn't work out as well, because I just so wasn't okay on my own. Whereas when that relationship ended, I spent quite a lot of time on my own working on myself, and that's when my business blew up and flourished, because I was putting all of my time and effort. I wasn't working my life around seeing a boy or making time for a boy. It was literally just, this is my life. I want to make it as good as I can and be as successful as I can. So when Owen naturally fell into my life, where me and Owen are now is we are both very independent people. He very much has his own mind, and I very much have my own mind, and we're both I think why our relationship works so well, and why we just, I don't know, we just add to each other's lives, is because neither of us need each other. Like, we want each other, yeah, obviously, like, I love him to bits. He's the best thing to ever happen to me, quite honestly. But I don't need him. And if he was to leave me tomorrow, as I said, when my ex left me, I genuinely didn't know what to do. Nora had to pick me up off the floor. Numerous that I hate calling you Nora. It's pissing me off. Kate had to literally practically give me CPR on a number of occasions and tell me that my life wasn't over. Like, I genuinely didn't see myself being with anybody else. Didn't see myself being happy ever again. And thinking back now, like, obviously I was young, and to anybody going through like a breakup when you're young, like, please just, it's not the end of the world. It feels like it at the time. Like, genuinely, I felt like I was never going to be happy again. Me and Owen are in the healthiest relationship that I've ever been in. I feel more secure than I ever have done before. He, honestly, I trust him with every inch of my life, and I've never had that before with a boy. Like, I genuinely, at the bottom of my heart, trust him. And that's really hard for me to say, because I've never been able to say that, but he's so trustworthy, and I just think he adds to my life, doesn't burden me, doesn't hinder me. And I think that's when you know that you've found a good person, is when they don't add stress to your life. He only ever de-stresses me. When I go home at the end of the day and I've got a stress in my mind, or someone's pissed me off or anything like that, I look forward to telling him, because he knows what to say to me to calm me down and to just take the stress away. And he always says to me, a problem halved is a problem shared is a problem halved. And it really does, it makes sense, because my problems never seem as big when I share them with Owen. So yeah, that's my relationship with Owen. It's not, he hates me, all right? Otherwise he wouldn't be with me. Okay, next question. how do you juggle everything in your life? Now, I don't. To be quite honest, I actually don't, and it's something that I really, really struggle with. I've got so much on my plate all the time, and that's something that makes me thrive. Like, I thrive in a busy situation, having loads of things on, having loads of chaos. I thrive with that. However, on the other hand, I get overwhelmed and overstimulated so easily. Like, so right now on my to-do list, I've got Beauty by Erin May, doing clients all day, every day. I've got EML Training Academy, training students, making sure their modules are done, passing them, whatever. I've got TikTok, which I try and upload twice a day. If I've slacked at the moment because I've been so busy. We've got a house that we're doing up, which is chaos. We've got a puppy. I've now decided to start a podcast. I've just been on a brow refresher course last week because I want to keep learning about my industry and things that I can do better. My brain doesn't stop, and I feel like I'm constantly... in my head, I'm constantly running. And this is a thing that a lot of people, everyone who meets me is convinced that I have ADHD, because honestly, I said to Owen the other day, like, in your brain, like, do you just think of one thing? And he was like, yeah. Because I can't fathom that people don't think about what they're having for tea in the same line as, oh my God, so-and-so died last week. Like, honestly, my brain is constantly, it's like a race. And like, I've got so much going on. So to juggle everything in my life, I actually don't. And I like to offload a lot of my problems. So I will, for the people around me, it must be hell, because I'll just be like, right, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that. Oh, can you help me with this? Blah, 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 blah. And I feel like that's just how I juggle. And I just, to be honest, just keep going. That's all you can do really, isn't it? I just keep going, keep walking, keep running, whatever I need to do. And it always does work its way out, but it is stressful. So juggling things to do. I actually bought a diary, right? And every night it was writing a to-do list, and I felt dead good because I was getting all my thoughts out of my head, like, right, okay, I need to do this tomorrow. I'd forget to look at my to-do list in the day. I'd get into bed and go, oh shit, I forgot about that. So that doesn't work for me because I'm so unorganised. I wrote a to-do list and then didn't look at it, ever. So I don't juggle things is the answer. I'm not the person to ask about that. But again, it's fine if you're not an organised person and if you can't juggle everything and you feel like you're drowning. It's totally normal. I mean, I need to take my own advice on that because I don't feel like it is normal, but whatever. Okay, the next question. I've talked about quite a lot on my TikTok over the past 6 to 12 months, and that is about my health anxiety. So this is, how do you deal with your health anxiety? Now, without getting too deep, my health anxiety started when I was young. I think that's a deep-rooted problem. And I have actually been to therapy quite a few times to try and get to the root of this, but I don't know whether it was the therapist wasn't suited for me or that I'm just not ready for therapy yet. I don't really know. I can't get to the bottom of it. But dealing with my health anxiety, I've found that it really comes in waves. Like, I went through a good couple of months up until up until not last weekend, the weekend before. So end of October. I'd say the whole way through the summer, I've barely even thought about my health anxiety. It's mainly about other people. My stresses for other people is constant. Like, for all of my family, everyone, I'm constantly worried about them getting ill or anything like that. However, for myself, I didn't actually worry. And then something happened when I was away with Owen the other weekend, and I felt a little bit poorly, whatever. And straight away, it's back off. And I was thinking about it in the bath yesterday, actually. In the bath, don't know why I was in the bath, but I was thinking it's so weird because I hear something from somebody and I will automatically self-diagnose myself and think, need to go to the doctors, need to do this. I literally give myself a diagnosis without even thinking about it. And then I'll have a pain in my stomach and I'll be like, oh, well, Susan from 2015 told me that she had bladder cancer, and that started by, I don't know, her needing a wee more than twice a day. And then I'll start thinking that. And I think it is such a common thing that people stress about and worry about day to day, but it is quite a taboo subject. And I also think it's hard because the people you go to with worries like this would be your doctors, But saying this to a doctor just terrifies me, because I feel like straight away they'll just think, oh, it's hypochondriacs. So then in my head, I'm like, well, if I do have an issue, they're not going to take me seriously, because they're just going to think it's my health anxiety. So coping with it, I don't actually know how I deal with it, to be quite honest. I feel like I don't deal with it. And I feel like there's going to be people that I speak to along the way on this podcast that can hopefully help me with this. But right now, I just like deal with it day to day and just go to the doctors pretty much every week. I don't actually.
No.
I actually don't. But when I do get, like, I don't know, because I'm really scared of getting ill. And I'm really scared of, like, not catching things quick. But then I don't proactively do anything about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I won't. I don't know. It's a weird one. Anyway, I don't deal with it, is the correct answer. I don't. Being truthfully honest. So if anybody has got any tips for dealing with health anxiety, hit me up, because I don't have any tips for you right now. So yeah. Okay, so every week in our episodes, we are going to do a section on dilemmas. So anything that any of my followers are experiencing, struggling with, need advice on, please feel free to give us a DM or message me on TikTok or email in my link tree. Anything to get hold of me, please feel free to bombard us with them. However, obviously for this episode, as I've said previously, we couldn't put this out yet because you would have known. So I went rooting through my DMs, because I get the nicest DMs of all of my followers, and we came across this, which is kind of a dilemma, to be honest, but it was also just a really nice message, so I thought I'd read it to you, and kind of give her a little bit of advice on what I think we would need by this. So it says, "Hi Erin, I know you probably won't see this, but I absolutely love your TikToks. You lift my days up every evening. I really need your advice on something, as I feel you're just so knowledgeable. I've just broken up with my boyfriend and all I want to do is beg for him back. Please help, lol." Now, we have all been there. But honestly, my biggest thing with breakups, because I've been there and I've been heartbroken, and all I've wanted is to have that person back. But I now am such a believer. Now, if you had told me this 2 years ago when I went through was it 2 or 3 years ago? I don't know. When I went through my breakup, if any of my friends had said this to me, which they did, I would just have been like, yeah, whatever, we're getting back together. Like, over my dead body, are we staying apart for the rest of my life? Just can't happen. Everything that is meant for you will not pass you by. Like, the universe has its plan, and anything that is meant for you and that is meant to stay, it physically cannot pass you by. And I know that sometimes in the moment will feel so harsh and cruel, but genuinely life has its plan. And if I had stuck in that mindset, I wouldn't be with Owen, and that's just like terrifying to me, because, you know, we've all begged for somebody back, and believe me, when you get them back, things don't change, and it's totally the same. And you've broken up for a reason. Honestly, you've broken up for a reason, and what's done is done, and there are new beginnings out there for you. Don't rush into anything. Take your time, take it slow, and your new ting will be out there somewhere and will be ready to treat you like a princess. And also, don't forget, when I became single, yes, it was the saddest time of my life, but once I got past like the crying 24/7 a day, it was the most exciting period in my life. Like, me and my friend we literally just booked a flight to Lanzarote and then cancelled 2 flights home and just stayed there. We met some great people out there, and we just had so much fun. And being single in your 20s, like, you'll never get that back. And some of my friends are single now, and like, not that I ever want to be single again, please do not think that. However, I get a little bit jealous, and I'm like, oh my god, like, so free. You can just do whatever you want. You can go on whatever holidays you want. Not to say that you can't do that with a boyfriend, but the girlies know it's different. You know, when you're single, you can do what you want. Not like, that sounds really promiscuous. I don't mean it like that, but you don't have to consider anyone's feelings. And I don't see that as a burden with Owen. Like, I don't see like having to ring him or text him. Like, I want to do that actively. Like, I love him, but when you're single, you just, there's something about a girl's holiday and just like, it's just different. Yeah. And I had the best time when I was single, genuinely. We had so much fun. We were so spontaneous. So just take these years, months, weeks, whatever it may be that you have out of a relationship, just take it to work on yourself and have fun. Do what you want to do, because once you're in a relationship that's the right one, hopefully there's no more single life. So that's my advice for you.
Yeah.
Just take time for yourself, have fun, don't take life too seriously, and do not beg for anyone. Know your worth. And I just think as well, if they wanted to, they would. So if they wanted you, they'd be begging for you in the nicest way possible. He doesn't want you. And I think that's like a hard piece of advice, but don't ever beg. Don't ever beg someone that doesn't want you. Don't do it. There's a saying for that and I can't remember what it is. Can't remember. Anyway, moving on. So that's our questions of the week. We will obviously do them weekly, as I've said, but our last little section for today is educating Erin. Now, every single episode we're going to do this, and it's going to be when I've got guests, I can say something that's educating me about them, or in my week what I've learned. And as I touched on before, last week, I'd say what I've learned this past week is I've been doing microblading now with my business for years. I don't actually know how many years. I've been doing it for a long time. Now, I'm busy with it. I earn good money from it, etc., etc. However, I feel like the only time you will stop growing is when you think that you know everything and that you can't get any better. And I just think that is so far from the truth for anybody in any industry that you're in. You can always, look at Stephen Bartlett, for example. He is so successful. Yeah, he does Diary of a CEO and he must learn so much. And you'd think someone like that doesn't need to learn anything else. Everyone constantly needs to be learning and growing for our brains to develop. So I thought, do you know what? I'm looking at other people's Instagrams. I'm comparing myself. I'm gonna go on a brow course. So I paid a stupid amount of money, to be quite honest, for a refresher course. Paid nearly £1,000 for a refresher course, being totally honest. And I swear by this, and I think a lot of people are so scared to invest. You have to spend money to make money. And so many people will message us and say like, oh, I really want to train in semi-permanent makeup, how much is it? And we'll tell them the course is 2,100 and they're like, ooh, no, sorry, that's too much. But you could go and pay 500 quid for a course and it'd be shit and you not make money. Do you know what I mean? So you need to make sure that you are, I don't know, I'm not going to say spend a load of money and you'll make money off it, but I knew that would be valuable for my business. Like spending that money, I'll make back threefold, hopefully, because I've learned new things. I've learned new techniques that I didn't know before. I've learned so much more about something that I am confident in. I teach what I went and trained in again. So my advice is basically, and what I've learned is you can never ever stop learning, and it's so fun. Like, I know that sounds so gimpy, but I genuinely love learning. I love going on courses, and that's what I miss sometimes, because I trained in everything that I wanted to train in. There's nothing there's nothing I can really do anymore, and I really miss it. I love going on courses and doing new things and putting the exciting offers on and stuff like that. So yeah, that's my educating Erin. Don't stop learning, and you've got to spend money to make money. So I think that concludes today's episode, guys. I hope you've enjoyed listening to our very first episode of the Curiosity Couch. I hope I've not babbled too much. I just wanted you all to get a feel of what it's going to be like. Hopefully you've enjoyed. If you've got any questions, any dilemmas, embarrassing stories, anything that it may be, please send them all to us, either on DM, email, where you can find us. We're just called the Curiosity Couch on Instagram and TikTok and everything like that. So please just send them in, whatever you prefer to send them in on. And also any future guests that you may want to see, tag them below. Let's see if we can get them on. And also, if you are somebody that would like to come on, you don't have to have a following, you don't have to have any social media presence. If you have an interest in business, or maybe if you just want to come on the podcast, just send us a DM, because we are always looking for new guests. So please send us your details and what you'd like to discuss on the podcast, and we will definitely consider getting you on. But yeah, I feel like that is everything for today's podcast. Make sure that you're following us on our Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube, do all the things that everyone always tells us to do, follow, subscribe, the lot. Obviously, the more subscribers, the more followers, more people that we have, more chance of getting Stephen Ball on, basically, because he's not going to think we're just a random stalker, and it'll help us just get better guests. So if you don't mind, take 2 seconds of your time and just follow us and like our stuff. But yeah, I will see you on the next episode, guys. I hope you've enjoyed, and see you next time. Bye.